Hey guys, welcome to this video and my quick memory training tips. My name's Ron White. I'm a two-time USA memory champion. I used to hold the record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards in the United States. And these are my quick memory training tips. I've used these tips to memorize 7,000 words in sequence and even memorize the entire United States Constitution word for word. The first thing that I want to share with you in my quick memory training tips is number one, focus. You got to be paying attention. Now that is so simple, isn't it? I mean, it makes sense. If you're not paying attention, you're not going to be able to remember anything. But there are things that we can do to improve our attention. A lot of people tell me, Ron, I have brain fog, or I have ADD, or I can't focus. Well, there are some things that you can do to help yourself with this. Number one, good nutrition and exercise. Drink plenty of water. Take vitamin B, B12. That'll give you some natural energy. That's going to help your focus. A dehydrated brain can't focus, and that's why water is so important. But there are also other foods that help your ability to focus. Spinach, blueberries, those have antioxidants in them that's going to help your ability to focus. Every day I take an omega-3 fish oil pill. This is good for your brain. It's going to help your ability to focus. Apples have something in them called acetylcholine. This is beneficial to your memory. Pumpkin seeds are beneficial to your memory. You have to be focused. Try this. The next time you pick up that book, ask yourself, what do I want to learn out of this book? With that question, you are focusing your brain. Read the back cover, read the table of contents, read the chapter summary, and after you do those, ask yourself, what should I look for in this book? The back cover, the table of contents, and the chapter summary are going to tell you. Before you meet somebody the next time, ask yourself as you're walking towards them, right before they say their name, what is their name? What is their name? What is their name? That question will focus your brain. A focused brain is my first quick memory training tip. My second quick memory training tip is you have to make the meaningless meaningful. Let me say that again. You have to make the meaningless meaningful. If something doesn't mean anything to you, if it has no context, if it's just a random fact, the odds of you remembering it are decreased significantly. But if it's meaningful to you, if it makes sense to you, the odds of you remembering it are going to be increased. For example, if you don't know anything about baseball, if you know nothing about baseball, and you look at the box score is the game summary, and it's a bunch of numbers and columns. If you look at that and it's meaningless to you, you don't know what it means, 10 minutes later somebody asks you what was in the box score, you're not going to be able to tell them. It was meaningless to you. So what do you have to do to make the meaningless meaningful? Here's an example. Let's take the Spanish verb poder. The Spanish verb poder means to be able to. Well, if that is kind of meaningless to you right now if you don't speak Spanish. So let's take the word poder and let's imagine a poor deer, a deer that has no money, and he is not able to buy anything. So you took the word poder and made it a poor deer. To be able is what it means. And you tell yourself the story. This poor deer is not able to buy anything. You are making the meaningless meaningful. In math, you have the order of operations, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. That's the order of operations. But that's so hard to remember. So you've heard it before. You've heard the saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You are taking the meaningless and making it meaningful. My third quick memory training tip is go for a walk and talk. Here's what I mean. After you study information, and maybe you study for 30 minutes or an hour, get up and go for a walk. When I was memorizing the United States Constitutions, I would go for walk and talks all the time. This is what a walk and talk is. Have the information that you're studying in your hand, but go for a walk and just talk about it. Talk to yourself. Sometimes I would walk for 2 hours with the information in my hand I was studying, and I would just talk about it, talk through it, say what I was studying. Number one, that gets it in my memory. Number two, if I get stuck and I can't remember anything, I have the information in my hand, I can look at it. And number three, what am I doing? I'm getting my blood flowing. I'm getting my oxygen going to my brain. So when you go for these walk and talks, not only are you reviewing, you have the information in your hand, but you're not reading it. You're only using it if you get stuck, but you're also exercising your body. You're going to get in better shape. And when your body is in shape, your brain is in shape. My fourth quick memory training tip is to chunk information. I memorized everybody who died in the war in Afghanistan from the United States military. That's 2,400 people. And I memorized their rank, their first name, and their last name. As I was looking at that, 7,000 words, a lot of times I wanted to quit. And when I looked at all the information, I did want to quit. But I didn't let myself look at all the information. I chunked it. 50 at a time. I had taught a 6-year-old little girl how to memorize the 45 presidents of the United States. And I just kept telling myself, dude, you can do this. You're just doing 50 times what she did. And that was so helpful to me. When you're looking at all the information you have to study, when you have the bar exam or the project management exam or a medical exam or some type of test for history or science, and you're looking at all this information and you're getting overwhelmed, you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember all this? People will tell me all the time, Ron, I got 5 books to memorize and 20 PowerPoints to memorize. No, you don't. Today, you have 1 chapter to learn. Tomorrow, you have 1 chapter to learn. Chunk it. Stop overwhelming yourself by telling you got 5 books to learn. You don't. You're not doing yourself any good by keep telling yourself that. You're just stressing yourself out. My 5th quick memory training tip is to use spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is just going back and reviewing, but it's doing it in a systematic way. Every day after you learn, at the end of the day, review what you learned. The next morning when you get up, before you learn new information, review what you learned the day before. Always use spaced repetition. This is gonna help you. And when doing spaced repetition, don't look at the information, don't read it, but see what you can recall. And then the things you can't recall, go back and look at them and make a note or make a star. This was hard for me to memorize. Then the next day when you do your review, start with the ones that are hard for you to memorize. And then repeat the process. Star the ones that day that were hard for you to memorize. Make them stronger in your brain. Spend time on the ones that are most difficult for you to remember, and then they will become easier. Then eventually, less and less and less and less will become difficult for you to memorize. Number 6, the next quick memory training tip is to journal, is to write. Right when you leave a class, in the 5 to 10 minutes after a class, this is going to be the most crucial time. You need to write down every single thing that you can remember from that class. Write it down. This is going to do a couple things. Number 1, that's when it's fresh in your mind and when you're going to remember the most. But number 2, you're creating notes that you can go back and review later. This does not mean that you no longer take notes in class. That's huge. You have to take notes in class. But also, when you get out of class, write what you remember. It's going to keep it fresh in your brain, but that act of writing is going to help you. And my last quick memory training tip is to use the Mind Palace or the Memory Palace. When I set the record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards in the United States, that was quick. That was really, really quick memory. So one of my best quick memory training tips is to use the Mind Palace to get faster and faster. Now, if you don't know what the Mind Palace is, shame on you. You should have been subscribed to my channel, because believe me, I talk about it a lot on this channel. So if you don't know what it is, make sure you subscribe to this channel. But let me give you a real quick overview. The Mind Palace is this. You walk into your house, and on the first piece of furniture, that's number 1. The next piece of furniture is number 2. The next piece of furniture is number 3. Then when you're studying your class materials, you take the first thing that you want to remember, you see it as a picture, and you imagine it interacting with that first piece of furniture. The second thing you want to remember from your notes, you turn it into a picture and imagine it interacting with the second piece of furniture. Then when you're taking your test, you just go back and walk through your house, your Mind Palace, and you're able to remember what you studied. If you want a real in-depth description of the Mind Palace and how to use that as a quick memory training tip, click the link down below. I have a free guide, my Black Belt Memory Guide, plus you're also going to find out about my Black Belt Memory course. So get my Black Belt Memory course. It's down in the description below. Also, if you liked my quick memory training tips, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, smash that subscribe button. If you don't know what the Mind Palace is, shame on you. The Memory Palace is my favorite memory technique, but I have a lot of memory techniques that I like to use. And in this video, I just gave you my 7 favorite quick memory training tips. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Tell me how you study. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe. Get my Black Belt Memory course. I'll see you on the next video.